following is a feature presentation of the Replay Sports Channel, the home for great games. This telecast is copyrighted by the WFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the WFL's consent is prohibited.
Imagine handing the ball to your star running back, watching him have just like the absolute game of his life. I mean, rushing for over 200 yards, breaking tackles, doing literally everything perfectly. And when the clock hits 0, you still lose by double digits.
It's crazy.
It's this bizarre, mathematically maddening reality. And it's just one of the anomalies we are looking at as we dive into this weekend's slate of games. So welcome to the Deep Dive.
Thanks for having me.
It is January 2026, and we're staring down the barrel of the World Football League Divisional round.
Yeah, we really are. And, you know, it's the point in the season where sheer survival just crashes head-on into strategic mastery. For you, the listener joining us, whether you're a diehard football fan or just like someone fascinated by high-pressure strategy and leadership, this weekend is basically a masterclass in how organizations handle extreme adversity.
Definitely.
Because we're looking way beyond the basic win-loss records.
Yeah.
We really want to understand the underlying mechanics of victory here.
Right, exactly. And we've spent all week poring over the preview data, the injury reports, the press conference transcripts. Our goal here is to cut through that standard sports chatter you hear everywhere else.
Yeah, the noise.
We want to show you exactly how these games will actually be won or lost on the field. Because, well, on paper, playoff football is often presented like a clean math equation, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you feed the yardage and the seeding into a formula, and the number one seed is just supposed to automatically advance.
Right, but the numbers are merely the prologue. I mean,
Yeah.
once the ball is actually kicked off, the context surrounding those numbers completely takes over. You're dealing with human variables, fatigue, psychological warfare, deeply personal rivalries. A team's emotional state can just, well, completely shatter those neat analytical projections.
Which perfectly brings us to the most emotionally charged and honestly logistically chaotic matchup of Saturday.
Oh boy, yeah.
We're talking about the number 4 seed Arizona Rattlers heading east to play the number 2 seed Birmingham Americans. And I mean, Arizona's coming off this incredible 34-20 win over Atlanta on Sunday night.
Such a resilient game.
Seriously, they had to fight out of a 13-0 first quarter deficit. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 touchdowns, and Bijan Robinson just pounded the rock for 106 rushing yards.
Yeah.
But the real story all week hasn't been that win. It's been Arizona's head coach, Deion Sanders, who is he's absolutely furious about the schedule.
But honestly, from a purely physiological standpoint, his anger is entirely justified. The timeline here is just brutal for a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Arizona played a really high-intensity game on Sunday night.
Yeah.
And because of this quick turnaround to a Saturday game, they literally lose an entire practice day.
Right.
Plus, they had to fly all the way across the country from Phoenix to Birmingham on Friday.
Right.
Meanwhile, Birmingham had a first-round bye.
Right. They've been chilling.
Exactly.
Yep.
They had spent the last 2 weeks resting, recovering, and preparing for this exact moment.
And Deion, I mean, he had some fiery quotes at his press conference. He told reporters, "Player safety can't just be a slogan you put on a banner."
Wow.
Yeah. And he went on to say, in the playoffs, one practice can be the difference between winning and going home. And then he caps it off with, if you want prime time, we'll give you prime time.
Classic Deion.
Right. But looking at this, it feels like Arizona is cramming for a massive final exam. Like they're pulling an all-nighter while the other student, Birmingham, has had all week to rest, review, and sleep in.
That's a great way to put it.
So my question to you is Deion Sanders actually concerned about player safety and logistics here? Or is he just masterfully manufacturing this us versus the world motivational shield to fire up his team?
You know, it is a brilliant mix of both. Deion is taking a legitimate, tangible disadvantage and weaponizing it. I mean, let's break down what losing a practice day actually means in this league.
Let's do it.
In professional football, Tuesday is typically for film study. Wednesday is for installing your early down plays. Thursday focuses on third downs, and Friday is dedicated to the red zone.
Okay.
Arizona simply does not have the hours in the week to install a complex game plan. They are operating at a severe deficit against a Birmingham operation that is, quite frankly, the epitome of structure.
Which brings up Birmingham's head coach, Doug Peterson. He's led them to 4 straight playoff appearances now.
Incredible consistency.
Yeah, and they boast a top 10 offense with Burt Icks, who threw for almost 3,500 yards. But here is the stat from the prep notes that just blew my mind.
Let's hear it.
Doug Peterson was a perfect 12 for 12 on instant replay challenges this season.
Oh, yeah. That 12 for 12 statistic is not just some fun piece of trivia.
No.
No, it is a symptom of a massive, highly efficient analytical department. It means Peterson has a team of experts up in the booth who are analyzing camera angles in real time. They're calculating probabilities and communicating flawless information down to his headset before the next play is even run.
Wow.
Birmingham doesn't operate on emotion or gut feelings. They operate on cold, hard data. They have the rest and they have the structural perfection.
So Design Sanders is trying to artificially manufacture a psychological edge to overcome all that structural perfection.
Oh, exactly.
But, I mean, he also happens to have the ultimate psychological weapon under center. Aaron Rodgers is facing his former team.
The storylines here are just endless.
They really are.
Right.
Rodgers was drafted 77th overall by this Birmingham franchise back in 2006. He won 2 Pantheon Bowls, the WFL Championship, in that very stadium in 2013 and 2015.
Yeah.
And Rodgers tried to downplay it to the press, right? He claimed that emotions last until the first snap.
Well, let's look at the mechanics of why Rodgers is actually the great equalizer here.
Okay.
Birmingham has the fresh legs and the rested pass rush, right?
Yep.
But defensive football relies on disguising your intentions to confuse the quarterback. Rodgers possesses this historic pre-snap processing speed. As he walks up to the line of scrimmage, he is reading the subtle shifts in the linebacker's footwork.
Right, he sees everything.
He recognizes exactly which defenders are coming and which are dropping back. By the time the ball is snapped, his brain has already solved the puzzle.
That's incredible.
It is. In a playoff environment, an elite quarterback's mental processing can completely neutralize a defense's physical freshness. He knows the building, he knows the sight lines, and he just processes information way faster than Birmingham's rested defenders can execute their blitzes.
Okay, so Arizona is basically relying on elite processing and manufactured chaos to survive.
Yeah, that's good summary.
But what happens when chaos isn't just a psychological tool, but like your team's literal on-field identity?
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, that brings us to our Saturday late game. The number 6 seed DC Defenders are traveling to play the number 1 seed Chicago. DC just pulled off the upset of the year against Philly.
What a wild game that was.
I mean, they were 11-point underdogs, and they won 32-25, despite the fact that Philly outgained them 426 yards to 224.
Which is just a mathematical anomaly. You rarely win a professional football game when you are outgained by 200 yards.
Right, but they won because they abandoned traditional defense entirely. DC blitzed 52 times in that game.
52 times. It's unheard of.
It is. And it paid off. They forced 4 turnovers, including 2 defensive touchdowns. There was a Cam Taylor-Britt 42-yard fumble return and a Diamador Lenoir 67-yard pick six.
Huge plays.
But looking at this strategy, it feels like trying to fund your retirement by playing the slot machines.
Interesting.
Like you pull the lever 52 times and eventually you hit the jackpot. But going up against a disciplined number 1 seed like Chicago, surely the house is going to win this time.
Well, I would actually challenge that slot machine analogy a bit.
Oh, really? How so?
What DC did wasn't just pulling a lever and hoping for luck. It was more like a high-variance poker strategy designed to exploit a very specific weakness.
Okay, walk me through that.
Well, they played a rookie quarterback in Drake May last week. When you blitz 52 times, often bringing more rushers than the offense has blockers, which is known as a cover seal blitz, you were intentionally speeding up the rookie's internal clock.
Gotcha.
You force him to panic, throw off his back foot, and make mistakes. The problem for DC, though, is that Chicago is not led by a rookie.
Not even close. Chicago has Baker Mayfield, who threw for over 3,500 yards and 29 touchdowns this year.
Exactly.
And they also have a dominant running game with Jahmyr Gibbs eclipsing 1,000 yards. This is a team built by John Harbaugh, making their second straight postseason appearance. I mean, they are the definition of disciplined.
They really are. And the mechanics of a heavy blitz strategy dictate that if you send extra linebackers and safeties after the quarterback, you are mathematically forced to leave areas of the field completely unguarded. You are vacating space in the secondary. Baker Mayfield is a veteran who has seen every pressure package imaginable.
Right. He's not going to get rattled like a rookie.
Not at all. When DC shows that covers a blitz, Mayfield will instantly diagnose it. He won't panic. He will get the ball out hot to his star receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And St. Brown had over 1,100 receiving yards this season. He practically makes his living running option routes into those exact empty pockets of grass.
Oh, St. Brown is an absolute master at finding the void left by a blitzing linebacker. DC is betting their season on creating panic, but Chicago's entire offensive architecture is designed to remain perfectly calm under pressure.
Wow.
So DC's high-variance poker strategy is going up against a team that, well, essentially counts cards. If DC leaves those zones vacated, Mayfield and St. Brown will just methodically march down the field.
That is a fascinating clash of styles. But speaking of high variance, let's talk about changing the most important variable on your team midstream.
The quarterback dilemma.
Exactly. In Sunday's early game, we are looking at the number 4 seed St. Louis Battlehawks taking on the number 2 seed New Jersey Hitmen. St. Louis is facing this massive identity shift right in the middle of a playoff run.
Yeah, it's unprecedented.
They absolutely crushed Baltimore last week, 37-11.
It was a completely dominant performance, largely driven by the run game and some incredible offensive line play.
Right, Ramondre Stevenson led that charge with 155 rushing yards. But the real storyline here is the quarterback. Backup Cooper Rush stepped in flawlessly for the injured Tua Tagovailoa.
Flawlessly.
Rush threw 3 touchdowns, connecting with Tutu Atwell, Sam Laporta, and their newly acquired weapon, Rashee Rice, who exploded for 132 yards. Rush commanded the offense perfectly.
He did.
Yet the massive question hanging over the facility this week is the fact that Tua Tagovailoa is cleared to return.
And it creates just a phenomenal dilemma for the coaching staff. You have momentum versus theoretical ceiling.
Right. I look at it like driving through treacherous mountain roads. If your car is running perfectly on a spare tire, and let's be clear, Cooper Rush just put up 37 points, so he's a very good spare tire. Do you really pull over in the freezing cold to put the patched main tire back on?
That's a great question.
I mean, do you risk ruining the chemistry and the rhythm this offense literally just built?
You know, it is a very tempting way to view the situation, but I'd actually argue it's the reverse.
Really?
Yeah. Cooper Rush is a fantastic game manager, but New Jersey's defense is not just a treacherous mountain road, it is a full-blown blizzard.
Oh, wow.
Rush kept the car on the road against Baltimore, but a spare tire will blow out in New Jersey's conditions. You absolutely need your primary engine running.
Okay, let's dig into why New Jersey's defense is so dangerous then. They are ranked 2nd overall in the league, allowing only 295 yards per game.
Elite numbers.
And head coach Aaron Glenn might be coaching his first postseason game, but his defensive scheme has just terrorized quarterbacks all year.
Well, the mechanism that makes Aaron Glenn's defense so elite is disguise coverages.
Right.
Before the snap, the New Jersey secondary might look like they are playing cover 3 with 3 deep defenders. But the moment the ball is snapped, they rotate into a really complex cover 2 shell. A backup quarterback like Cooper Rush operates strictly on schedule. If his first read isn't there, that disguised coverage will force him to hold the ball just a fraction of a second too long.
And New Jersey features all-star cornerback Pat Certain II, who thrives on that exact hesitation.
Exactly.
So St. Louis needs a quarterback who can process the disguise faster than the defense can actually execute it.
And that is exactly why the decision to start Tua matters so deeply. St. Louis led their entire conference with 9 all-star selections.
9.
Yeah. They have an elite baseline of talent across the roster. While Cooper Rush keeps the floor high by avoiding mistakes, a fully healthy Tua Tagovailoa is the only quarterback on the roster who unlocks the true ceiling of those 9 all-stars.
Because he anticipates better.
Right. Tua operates on anticipation. He doesn't throw to where the receiver is. He throws to where the receiver will be, completely bypassing the defensive disguise.
But, I mean, Tua is coming off an injury. If there's any rust, if his timing is off by even a half step, Pat Surtain is going to jump those anticipation routes. St. Louis is gambling their entire season on Tua's health just to beat this disguised defense.
It is a massive risk, but in the divisional round, playing it safe with a backup quarterback against an elite defense is just a slow death. You have to put your best processor on the field and trust the talent.
All right, so St. Louis has to navigate a complicated quarterback dilemma to execute their game plan. But our final matchup of the weekend features a team that knows exactly what their ultimate weapon is.
Ah, yes.
They deployed it perfectly, and it still wasn't enough. I am talking about the number 6 seed Denver Gold going up against the number 1 seed San Diego Fleet.
This is just the ultimate nemesis scenario.
It really is. Denver pulled off a gritty 16-10 upset over Las Vegas last week by completely bypassing the forward pass.
They didn't even try.
Right. Their quarterback, Geno Smith, threw for only 77 yards. Instead, they leaned entirely on running back Derrick Henry, who carried the offense with 174 rushing yards.
Unbelievable.
And Henry won the rushing title this year with over 1,520 yards. He is a bulldozer. But now they face San Diego, a team that swept them in the regular season.
And those regular season games, I mean, they were not close. San Diego won 36-3 and 44-34.
Right. And the source notes break down that second meeting, and it is fascinating.
It really highlights the problem.
Because Denver played their absolute best card. Derrick Henry had a monster game.
Yeah.
He rushed for 223 yards. He reached the 1,000-yard mark for the season right in the middle of the game. He was unstoppable.
Just dominant.
And yet Denver still lost by 10 points.
Yeah.
It reminds me of fighting a judo master. You know, like you bring this massive, heavy weapon like Derrick Henry, you swing as hard as you can, and San Diego just uses your own momentum against you.
The judo master analogy is honestly perfect for understanding San Diego's defensive philosophy.
Right.
Yeah, they play what is known as a bend but don't break defense. They simply do not care if Derrick Henry gets 8 yards of carry at the 50-yard line.
Right.
They will let you exhaust yourself, marching 80 yards down the field, burning up the play clock. But the mechanics of the game change drastically when you reach the red zone.
Because the field shrinks.
Exactly. The safeties don't have as much ground to cover behind them.
So the throwing windows just become incredibly tight.
Spot on. San Diego basically dares you to execute flawlessly in a compressed area. And in that previous matchup, Denver couldn't do it. Geno Smith was forced to pass in the red zone and ended up throwing 3 interceptions.
Ouch.
Yeah, and the turning point of the game was a devastating 17-yard pick six thrown directly to San Diego's Marlon Humphreys right before halftime.
Which is a massive 14-point swing. Denver was driving to score 7, and instead, San Diego put 7 on the board.
Right, and that 14-point swing perfectly illustrates why San Diego is the ultimate test of situational football. Yardage totals are essentially meaningless against them.
Right, they don't care about the yards.
It's not at all. Let's look at San Diego's winning formula from that game. They won because they had a +3 turnover margin. They didn't turn the ball over a single time themselves. And when San Diego reached the red zone, they were ruthlessly efficient, scoring 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
And a huge part of that red zone efficiency is their quarterback, Josh Allen. I mean, he threw 2 passing touchdowns and ran for 2 more in that game alone.
Josh Allen is just the ultimate red zone weapon. Because the field is compressed, defenses try to play really tight man-to-man coverage.
Right.
And when defensive backs turn their backs to the quarterback to chase those receivers, Allen just tucks the ball and uses his massive frame to run it in himself.
He's a tank.
He really is. He is the physical closer that San Diego relies on when the math gets tight.
So if you are Denver, how on earth do you rewrite the script this weekend? I mean, can they just hide Geno Smith entirely and snap the ball directly to Derrick Henry every single play?
Well, they will certainly try to run Henry 40 times, no doubt. But for you, the listener watching this game on Sunday, I challenge you to completely ignore the total rushing yards.
Okay, what should they look for instead?
Watch how Denver protects the football on third down, and especially in the red zone. If Geno Smith forces a tight throw, or if anyone on Denver turns the ball over even once, Josh Allen and this San Diego machine will make them pay. You just cannot give a highly efficient team extra possessions and expect to survive.
Wow. Let's zoom out and synthesize what we've uncovered across all 4 of these matchups.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because this weekend is not just a showcase of athletic talent. We are looking at a profound study in contrasting strategies and philosophies.
Fascinating.
On one side, we are watching raw momentum, psychological motivation, and chaos. You've got teams like Arizona trying to overcome exhaustion, DC literally blitzing their way to survival, and Denver stubbornly handing the ball to their bulldozer running back. And they are crashing head-on into these rested, highly structured, analytical juggernauts in Birmingham, Chicago, and San Diego.
We are essentially watching the unpredictable human spirit test the absolute limits of cold, hard, structural efficiency.
Yeah.
The teams that advance will be the ones that execute the underlying mechanics of their philosophy without making those unforced errors.
Exactly. And the reason this matters to you, the listener, is because the themes we've discussed today are universally applicable.
Absolutely.
Whether you are managing a complex project at work, leading a team through a crisis, or just navigating a high-stakes personal scenario, the questions are exactly the same. How do you manage systemic exhaustion the way Dan Sanders is trying to do? Do you stick to a high-variance, chaotic identity like DC when facing a hyper-disciplined competitor?
Great questions.
Right. Or do you swap out a reliable piece of your team for someone with a higher ceiling like St. Louis, deciding between Cooper Rush and Tua? And maybe most importantly, how do you protect your core assets against a competitor that executes flawlessly in the margins like San Diego?
The principles of situational awareness, resource management, and really understanding your opponent's structural weaknesses.
Yeah.
Those transfer far beyond the football field. Those who master the context usually master the outcome.
So as you settle in to watch the games this weekend, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over.
Right.
We spend all week looking at instant replay stats, turnover margins, and historical matchups to predict exactly how these games will unfold. We try to turn competition into this clean math equation.
Right, which we love to do.
But what happens when the perfect analytical game plan collides with the sheer, unquantifiable human elements of exhaustion, nostalgia, or sudden injury? If a team wins by completely defying the numbers this weekend, if DC blisses their way to another win, or if Arizona's pure anger overcomes Birmingham's rest, are they just lucky? Or is it possible that in the highest stakes environments of human competition, we are measuring the wrong things entirely?
It's a great thought. Enjoy the games, everyone.